Good evening, Claudia.
Hello, Ioana.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ioana Sima, and I am an external hypnosis operator and student of the Grifasi Academy. And today, with my colleague Claudia, who is a telepathic support of the Grifasi method, we are participating in the investigative cycle number 271, the protocol number 3. The protocol we are going to do is defined mixed, as always, because it has two different parts. The first part is the fixed part, and it consists of questions that we cannot modify or deepen, except in the second part of the protocol, defined as free exploration. The investigations that we are doing are being done in multiple countries and languages, and all the operators follow the same fixed protocol. The telepathic supports do not know the subject of the investigation in order to not contaminate the information. I'm also available for personal sessions, and you can find all my contact details in the description box below this video. Claudia, please get comfortable. You can close your eyes. And I will count from 3 to 1 while you start to relax deeply. You can take a couple of deep breaths. And as I begin to count, let each number guide you into a state of calm, where your body becomes heavy and your mind empties. With every breath you take, all the tension present in your body disappears. Three, three, three. You are starting to relax deeply, deeper and deeper. 2, 2, 2. Your breathing becomes slow and effortless, and your mind clear of every thought. One. Allow yourself to sink completely into this moment. Your body is heavy and your mind is empty and calm. I will count from 1 to 3, and on 3 you will tell me which conditions related to the physical plane can generate nightmares. One, two, three.
Re- Related to the physical plane came first some chemical imbalances on the physical body.
Mhm.
I saw simply a person and some type of neurological connections that are done in a not normal way, mm, due most probably to some trauma. But now, right now,
Mhm.
uh, they're looking this bad, this different than normal ones, like starting from that trauma that took place in the childhood. Now simply modified some chemical connections there in the brain. That was the first image um, related to the physical plane.
Mhm.
But I have a feeling that there are a lot more. It's not the only thing. It's again the physical environment, and I was having in plain sight a child with a very difficult parent problems, I would say.
Mhm.
Conflicts, contradictions, a lot of noise around this child.
Okay.
So, but I'm sure there are many others. Most probably we'll explore later on.
We will. Perfect. Now, detect all conditions related to the metaphysical plane that provoke nightmares.
I was waiting to see if there are other things to come because at first I saw entities of all kinds,
Mhm.
of all kinds. First image was with some Draco images, that type of monster. I would say traditional monster that we know about,
Yeah.
that we heard, but is not the only one. There are a lot of other races involved in this, depending a lot of the synchronicity with the person that the entity is connected with. So depending the vulnerabilities, the weaknesses, the lacks that a person has will connect to a certain type of being, metaphysical being, energy.
Mhm.
Even disincarnated subliminal parts can be a cause of nightmares to some persons. So there are a lot of metaphysical causes. But until this moment, at least, come to my mind these races. So Draco came, reptiloids. These two look like
Mhm.
more mm,
Active.
oriented
Yeah.
to cause. Yes, also active, but oriented to cause this type of things to human. Um, like the others are a bit different, are not connected, are not connected in this way with a person. Also can cause also humanoids or all kind of hybrids, insectoids. There are a lot of others, but those two came to my mind first. as two main races involved in this.
Mhm. Okay. Which processes are usually activated in the mental body during nightmares?
Came first the word switch. I don't know why. And the image is like would be a switch done in the mental body by an entity, and that switch creates something like a pathway, like a little channel there through which the entity can interfere that person's mind, that person subconscious mind to that person. But but in fact are coming now two situations, different situations to my mind, can be caused by someone, by entity that already interfering that person, but
Mhm.
also not only this situation, can also be other beings in the astral world that are somehow using that little pathway that was created. So anyway, we are talking about a kind of leakage. I don't know. Comes to me to say like a weakness that already that person has, and takes advantage also other beings, not only
Mhm.
his interferent, the entity that already interferes that person. Can
Mhm.
be also others. So those two situations came to me now, but we'll see what others
Mhm.
are coming.
Which conditions are usually activated in the emotional body during nightmares?
I was having a image and the feeling of old traumas, old feelings, old events that are not enough healed in the emotional body are somehow revealed, taken out by the entity, and how to say, made even stronger, even
Mhm.
if normally they're not that strong anymore, but the entity hang on this on that old event to make it look appear even more important, more stronger than it is actually. So already the imbalances that exist in the emotional body are simply used by these the entities, by these energies, outside energies.
Good. Which conditions usually characterize the sexual body during nightmares?
Now come to me um, different situations, the same like before. Um, one was a kind of person that doesn't have the sexual body enough developed, is not very well rooted. So that person looks like almost like not touching the ground, I would say. This is the image that I have.
Mhm.
This is one situation, and not being rooted in herself. First of all, it's easy to be like attracted in this type of nightmares of bad dreams during night. So this is one of the situations that came, And another one was with the traditional sexual, um, how to say, not being fulfilled, not being um, happy in this matter, being looking more like company, but especially for this, for sexual intercourse,
Mm-hmm.
um, having like an obsession in this in a person can cause nightmares of all kinds of that sustain his obsession, but or by the contrary, not having enough sex, all kind of nightmares related to this desire, this strong desire that the person has. But these ones are only two situations, and again, comes to my mind that there are a lot more, not only
Mm-hmm.
these two.
What are the subliminal esoteric conditions of recurring nightmares?
Now I have an image a bit different, like could be like I would see people from different lives, the same person, but I'm having different images of that person, like would be in different experiences, life experiences. And that reveals to me, it's like a symbol of the person that brings with herself, with himself, um, some patterns, old patterns with himself, and simply cannot. This is again one type. Is not the only one, but this came to me as a first case, first
Mm-hmm.
possibility. And now that person is experiencing the same patterns of in different bodies, sexual, emotional, or body or mental body, and experiencing many times in a row in many lives becomes like difficult to counteract, to defeat, to himself, to stop it. This is like a general, I would say, overview of this situation, this case. So to this person, the recurring nightmares are a kind of expression of his recurring traumas and patterns that brings from another life experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this
Good.
is one thing, but it's not the only one.
Yeah.
Again, comes there are a lot of other things that can happen during even one lifetime. Doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily occurs only from another life experiences, from other lives. But we will see more.
We'll get into detail. The
Mhm.
last question of the fixed part, Claudia. Can we inherit the same nightmares from our predecessors? What do you perceive about it?
Came an image to me now like being possible. So, in case of transgenerational interferences, this came to me. I was having an image with the same entity that interferes a mother and a daughter. That was the image that came to me. And simply, yes, is sending the same images, the same, but at the same time, I'm having the feeling that this is kind of a rare condition. It's not something very often to be seen. So only in these cases, or most of it, that comes to me.
So it's
And
rare.
it's rare, yes. Only if a person has the same interferent.
Mhm.
Mm.
Tell me, you wanted to say something.
No, no, no. I was just looking for another situations, but for the moment are not coming. Other
Okay,
cases, we'll see.
we'll
Maybe
see.
there are others. We'll see.
I wanted to know for how many generations can a nightmare be passed through interference, through the same interference?
Came to me 3 to 4. I don't know why,
Okay.
but came these numbers, and the same time came like perception of until a person has enough of this and gains enough awareness to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
That was the feeling that I got in connection with this 3 4. Is like not a fixed number. It's more like
It depends.
until that's, yes, that subliminal part from that generational tree um, decides it's time to change. It's time to find against
Mm-hmm.
that pattern.
Okay, very interesting, Claudia, the fixed part. And for the free exploration part, go back to the conditions of the nightmares related to the metaphysical plane.
Hmm.
And you mentioned the Draco
Hmm.
entities that are showing themselves, let's say, as monsters.
Hmm.
What's the mechanism behind this? How are they doing this?
Hmm. Now, while you're speaking, came very clear, written in my eyes, fear, fear.
Okay.
It's a very important catalyzer, I would say.
Hmm.
That cause it's like a mean, a very important mean. Without it cannot be um pursued, cannot be accomplished.
Yeah.
A nightmare. So it's during the day, the normal state of consciousness, that person is having something to do with fear in any matter, can be extremely wide situations, fear of, I don't know, of heights or to express herself, himself, um, so many others, but has something to do with fear, because that fear is simply amplified during the night through the nightmare.
Oh, interesting what you said. So our emotions that we
Mhm.
feel during the day in a wake up state are amplified during the night.
In one situation, again, come to me different cases, different. One, that was one. Another
Okay.
one came to me like um, when is when it doesn't have anything to do with an entity. Okay, can be a nightmare, can be like our emotional body is really relieving actually the stress that had during the prior
Hmm.
day. So there are many situations. It's not like any nightmare is caused by an entity. Can be simply a mechanism of protection of our own emotional body, of our subconscious mind, that creates this pattern, this nightmare, simply to relieve some energy that is not old energy, let's say, is not necessary anymore in the body, in the emotional body.
Hmm.
So many things, many situations.
Yeah, this is amazing. There are so many roads that we can take,
Hmm.
but I want to know, can a person that doesn't have any fears or any emotional stress or problems, let's say,
Hmm.
will this person still have nightmares sometimes?
Mostly not.
Mostly not, but not totally not.
It comes to me now like it's very difficult to be completely balanced in a
Yeah.
world that it's not actually. Um, I mean, there are layers, and a person can become more and more harmonized, but still on a very deep layer can connect with with other humans, with other fields, uh, and can attract from that, even if it's not his own emotion, bad emotion, but can attract, can let it only maybe for experience or in a mode, how to say, uh, being conscious about, he's not having fear to enter that field, simply he wants to experience that. um, so there are different layers, let's say. It's difficult to live completely separated by others energetic fields around.
Hmm. Are the nightmares related to the Matrix?
Can be that one. And actually, what you asked now is in connection with my answer before. That
Exactly.
was yes. And now it comes even more clear. Those layers going down and down, yes, at some point you can reach the matrix itself. Um, okay, reach. Let's say you can reach very deep levels of the programs um, that are, rooted in the matrix, implemented here. So
What type of
yes,
programs can you reach?
functioning, the matrix, everything. And from here, taking those emotions, let's say bad, negative emotions, um, as a primary energy, not having a figure, not having a cause, not having a face, that fear, just the sense of fear, but in a very light mode. And now talking about a very a person that with highly conscious, let's say,
Hmm.
with a high spiritual development, like yes, can still attract, but in a way, in a more again, like he wants to experience something, like he doesn't have fear, but still he's here on earth and wants to experience emotions in a way, simply to make and to have an experience on earth.
So nightmares are part of the Earth experience.
At some point, yes, we can say,
Okay.
but when they are experienced by a person that somehow evolved, um, are very light. This is what comes to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Light, okay, are not creating disturbances, not creating damage in the emotional
Hmm.
body of that person. Is simply an experience. Is probably that person considers that was some emotional energy pressure that was released due to that nightmare, and go goes on
It moves
simply.
on. The person
Hmm.
moves on
Hmm.
easily.
Hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
Without consequences in the
Exactly.
metaphysical
It's
plane.
just an
Okay.
experience. Just an experience.
Amazing. Okay. Um, are all the nightmares induced?
Hmm. Again, came like two directions. Can be induced by others, by entities,
Yes.
as we know. And the same time can be induced by ourselves, but not by ourselves, in fact, by our emotions, negative emotions. Let's say induced, simply, yes, caused by our behavior, by our vulnerabilities. Yes, we can say simply we are the masters of our nightmares. If we're not talking about entities, of
Mhm.
course.
We discussed about recurring nightmares and apart, so except for the person that you visualized going through lives and
Hmm.
carrying these emotions and nightmares with him,
Hmm.
and except for the transgenerational interferences that are
Hmm. Hmm.
propagating nightmares, what other examples of recurring nightmares can you give me? In what
Hmm.
other situations can recurring nightmares happen?
While you're speaking now, came to me another situation, and not having anything to do with other lives. Came to me people that were part of projects of mind control, and not only this, these people, also people that were engaged in some kind of very difficult situations while they were children. They were little and helpless and without being protected by the adults around them. Uh, so these people being heavy traumatized,
Yeah.
they're experiencing this recurring nightmares during adulthood. So these two situations came to my
Okay.
mind.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Disconnect from there. And we're gonna go back to the conditions related to the metaphysical plane that
Hmm.
provokes nightmare. Um, why do children, mostly children, perceive these Draco, these monsters under the bed? Why is it mostly children?
Hmm. And the image that came now, it's the energetic body plane of a child that surrounds a child is somehow open, like doesn't have filters. This is the image that I have now.
Hmm.
It's somehow permeates, having little holes with the field, the outside field of
So they
himself.
communicate more easily.
Exactly. They
Okay.
communicate and they not having those filters that an adult has. He doesn't know how to select, how to make a, selection to avoid what to feel or not to feel, what to see or not to see. It's difficult for him because he's simply not enough developed,
Hmm.
and he doesn't know how to do it. Everything comes to him altogether, good and bad. And it's not only that, it's not the same to all children, what I said. It depends on the child, what comes with, again, with the vulnerabilities, what inherits from their parents, from the genealogical tree. So can be, yes, a kind of already blockage, let's say,
Hmm.
that already starts to develop, to reveals itself and his energetical body, and that child will be more scared of what he sees and more attacked, being of course connected with his fear
Yeah.
that he has, more attacked, and he'll see even more because has this openness to the to sense fear. He doesn't know how to not sense it.
Hmm.
So again, it's just a sample from what actually can be. what we said now.
Mm-hmm.
It depends again if it's not
Of
something
course.
brought from the genealogical tree, can be from the parents, from what he hears on the, I don't know, in the kindergarten, from other children, from the,
Exactly what I wanted to say, to
ah,
ask if it can
mm,
depend on the school or on the
mhm.
where he's spending his days.
Yes, yes, because they're very sensitive at
Yeah.
that age, and everything that him here around can have a strong impact on them. And a lot of things actually now are having, you know, with this now came to my mind this internet access too easy to be accessed by a child, and from this the conversations, the talks that they are having between them in the school.
Yeah, it can create vulnerabilities.
A
So
lot.
there's this, and then there's the transgenerational, of course, and
hmm
this very thin line between them and the metaphysical plane because they can perceive
hmm
more. They're more open to this
yes,
state.
because they are not enough human comes in here. Yes, they're still with one
Between,
foot
yeah,
in the
between
energetical
worlds.
world. Exactly. They're still not rooted deep here because they are little. It's normal. They are building this energetical field during years. Takes time. So that's why.
But that can also be an advantage.
Yes, from another point of view, yes, can be an advantage if they would live in a very balanced environment. Yes, can be an advantage. They can be, if the parents are around and supporting them, they can explain to the child that you know on the easy terms, easy words, can make the child to understand that the power, he has the power.
Yeah.
Yes, and he doesn't have anything to fear. um so it's depending a lot on the environment
Hmm.
of the child, or his own balance, his own construction, let's say energetical, uh, that brings with him from another life, from another experience.
Okay, so yeah, past lives and yeah, experience. Beautiful
Yes,
set.
depending on what he's coming here to experience now. Maybe he's not that one. He's not, to experience negative emotions. Maybe
Yeah.
he came to develop another things, another qualities. So this is not something that has to do with him.
Mm-hmm. Good. Um, Disconnect from the child. And you said that the more frequent entities that are in this field, in this nightmare field, are reptiloids and the Draco. Tell me, what do they benefit from our nightmares, from the nightmares they induce to people? What do they get from that?
Different and many types of effects of energies. Came first the one that we know. They like us to be feared, to be scared, to have this feeling of being terrorized,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because it's useful for them, for their survival. But it's not only that. Kim also simply being mean with no reason, because this is how they are. This is what
Their
they
favorite
like.
activity.
Exactly. This is what they are. Uh, Simply to play games with the ones that are getting into those games, of course. Where they succeed, they like to come even more, to empower those nightmares, to make them even stronger if possible. So for this, let's say, very basic reasons, for us it's not easy to understand, but for them this is how they are. Simply, they like to be mean.
So they are feeding on our vulnerabilities, on our fears when we have nightmares, when they induce nightmares. And they
Yes.
can also create the pathways that you mentioned, the
Hmm.
channels for interference
Hmm.
that other entities are using too.
Exactly. Like not only the interference that our current interference, let's say,
Hmm.
but also others can come. That was the image that came to my mind. Like
Interesting.
passing by. They're still passing by and seeing this pathway open. And okay, let's give it a try. Maybe we can be here a character along with in that nightmare to make it even more complicated, even more interesting, even
Oh,
more terrifying for that person that's having the nightmare.
so these other beings, they're only taking the pathway during the nightmare. Or are
Exactly.
they staying with the human after as an
Uh,
interference?
Also, this can happen.
Okay,
It's
so
depending.
there's
Also,
infinite
this.
possibilities right now.
Exactly. There are so many possibilities,
Mm.
unfortunately.
Okay, so what for what purpose would a humanoid
Mhm.
generate and induce nightmares in someone?
Now came something a bit different. Came like a humanoid would like to induce a nightmare with some specific purpose to cause the chemical imbalances that I was saying before,
Yeah.
but only now comes to me that an humanoid would be interested in. Um, he's interested to cause new roots, new networks, new connections in the brain. And for this, he needs to create those chemical imbalances because the humanoid works more with the mental body. So
Hmm.
he's a lot interesting to make it in his favor, to to distort this the word, to distort the pathways in the brain of a person. This is what comes to me.
This the answer that you gave right now, it gave me another question.
Mm.
Can a human
Hmm.
being um, have a nightmare induced by a humanoid and generate a sickness in his physical body in the physical plane
Yes,
as a consequence of the nightmare?
yes, he can. He
Only
can.
by humanoids or by other races too?
By other races too. By other races too. But in this case, with humanoids,
Yeah.
more popular, let's say, um, is to distort the behavior of the that person that humanoids is taking care of.
Yeah.
um, to distort because he needs a certain behavior from that person. And the sickness, if we refer to schizophrenia, for
Yeah, let's
example,
say mental sickness.
mental, yes, illness, it's like a consequence. He's not directly interested in um, in causing this illness. N- n- in most of the cases, this is what comes to me.
Hmm.
It's a difference between a humanoid and a reptiloid or Draco. They are more interested to cause an illness, to cause aggressive behaviors. So
The reptilians and the Draco
exactly,
to cause
exactly.
more pain,
More
maybe.
pain, exactly, and more illness to be revealed, to be in show, let's say. But on a humanoid example, he's not interested directly in the illness, but to distort the behavior, the mind, the way the person responds to some impulses, to some buttons.
Can we say that they're more interested in their experiments and in
In their
observating the human behavior, observing?
in their experiments of modifying the human, the brain mapping brain. This is what comes to me. um, in this type of experiment, to modify the human brain, to mapping the brain in a different way than it should would be done by itself.
So
Mm,
what's the purpose? What's their purpose in modifying the human brain? What do they want to achieve with that?
came one word again: creation. To get this ability to create as the human brain has it,
Oh,
like
they want to
those
steal.
yes, they want to understand how the human brain creates, um has how come the human brain has this ability. Like they are good in technology, they are extremely
Yeah,
highly advanced, but they don't have this ability to create. That came to my mind, and this is one of the again of the purposes. And of course the basic one that we know, it's for their survival. mm, Using the human brain again to extract some type of energies for their survival.
very interesting. And a bit funny because they're jealous, because they
Hmm.
can't create. Okay, so we discussed what about the insectoids? So what's the purpose of insectoids inducing dreams?
Yes, I can see also this type of situation taking place with insectoids.
So for what? Why would they do that?
I have a image now, like they are involved in a nightmare and they are doing something on the somewhere in the middle of the body, not the sexual one, but not the chest, somewhere between. This is the image that I have now. Like they would be more interested, more related to the vital energy of that person. It's not. It's like they are not that specialized to work with the mental body, like for example the
Hmm.
humanoids are. They're more interested in this vital energy that a human produces, in a way.
Hmm.
That comes to me.
Okay. So
Also, in
yeah.
the sexual body, they are very highly interested, but depending on the person, the situation, of course, they are amplifying a lot emotions, depending again on the person. Um, but it's the image and the feeling that I have when I'm talking about insectoids is something more like would be like something that bothers a person in a way that I don't know how to express it. Bothers a person like would be like a scratch, like something that's like
Hmm.
electricity, something very bothering, but at the same time not specific. You cannot say what's that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So not pain necessarily.
Not necessarily pain, not
An
necessarily
unpleasant feeling.
an unpleasant feeling, and pain, yes, like an
Small pain.
electricity, but
Yeah.
not small, bothering, simply bothering you.
Okay.
But you don't know, you don't have a feeling, you don't have a thought related to that. It's simply there, and it's recurring, and giving you, you know,
And this is happening in the in the nightmare, in the dream,
during, exactly,
during the dream.
during
Okay.
the dream, but you don't know from where to
You
take.
don't know it's them.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you
Okay.
don't know it's them.
Okay, so mainly insectoids' purpose is to feed themselves.
Yes, and they're a kind of support for others too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Okay.
one too.
Good. And now the disincarnated ones, because you mentioned them in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, and I'm very interested in knowing what is the mechanism behind this. How do they operate?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an entity behind them? Um, Tell me more about the mechanism of disincarnated in dreams, in
Mm-hmm.
nightmares.
Again, can be more different situations. It's not only one, but can be, for example, when a person simply sleeps in a house, let's say a haunted house with disincarnated in there, and the person has a kind of open door in itself, a vulnerability that we're talking about, and allows that person to, that disincarnated subliminal parts to express and cause a nightmare during the nights that the people sleep in there. Another situation came to me like a relative, someone from the family, someone that simply wants to make himself mm, like he's reliving some situations and causing nightmares to family member because they are having a kind of a genetical synchronicity, and it's easy to to attack, let's say. um, Also can be a situation with entities that interferes a person, and interferes also the deceased one. The person that deceased is not in the physical world anymore, but creates the connection between them, between the disincarnated and this. That's.
Okay. So the deceased person is interfered by an entity,
Mm-hmm.
and the entity is going through this
Mm-hmm.
disincarnated person to achieve, to arrive at the human person, a
Exactly.
loved one, for example.
Exactly. Like nourishes and amplifies the bad feelings that the disincarnated has.
Yeah,
I don't know in what matter. For example, the disincarnated is suffering that left too early from this life, or
yeah,
he's too
emotions,
much
vulnerabilities.
attached, exactly, too much attached to some material goods, and
Mm.
the entity simply amplifies those feelings and saying, "You see, this person is still there. He took your place. He's enjoying all those things. Instead, you doing that." Uh, this is again one situation that came to me
Wow.
and makes the disincarnated react in a bad way and
Wow.
causing nightmares, yes, to that person.
Very
It's,
interesting.
yes, yes.
Okay. Do you perceive anything else about disincarnated persons and nightmares? Any other link there might be?
Came another case to me. I don't know if I say it okay in English. Came a word, wanderer. Those that are simply wanderer, or what? Those disincarnated that are simply mm, walking away, walking, taking walks,
Yeah.
or they're simply not deciding to leave the material plane. They simply like to stay here and see and observe situations and people. And the way that they are doing this, one of the favorite ways that they are doing this is during sleep, during the sleep of the people. So yes, when they meet a person with this kind of little gates that are open during sleep, as we were
Yeah.
talking, uh, is getting in there, causing a nightmare or something. Simply being mean again, for
Wow.
not such a good reason, for
By
no
choice.
reason. It's only yes, by choice, can say. Only
Wow.
because he was there at the moment and he saw that open gate, and he, okay, let's cause some distress, let's
Yeah.
make these people, this person feels alive, not like me that I don't have a body, like being again jealous on the people who
Mhm.
has a body here.
I have one question for this situation that came in my mind for this. How are the scenarios chosen for the nightmares
By who,
by
you mean?
whoever is provoking the nightmare?
Ah, okay.
How are the
Oh,
scenarios, the things that we perceive, that we see, how are they
mhm.
generated?
Eh, it's like combination from the, depending if it's an entity from outside, from his characteristics, but also with the personal
Touch.
touch, yes, personal way of viewing the world around, of representing the world around of that person. So has something to do with her childhood, the way the person sees the world around, what had left a strong print, a strong touch during the childhood in his mind. So for one person, for example, can be, I don't know, a monster like a very ugly, I
Draco.
don't know, Draco, or even a grandmother, or those type of very ugly witches looking like.
Yeah.
So it's depending for a person. It's like a combination, yes, between them.
Okay. So they have access to our memories and experiences.
Yes, yes, because in those moments, the person being already open, having that door left open, gives access to more aspects of his energetical body, his emotional body, depending where he manifests those weaknesses, those
Mhm.
vulnerabilities,
Wow.
depending.
Okay. Perfect. Now we discussed a lot about nightmares, and on a more positive note, Claudia, when a person is having a nightmare, what can the person do in order to not be interfered or in order to stop the nightmare?
Mhm. I was with you in the question. I was thinking about the same thing when you made it. I was having an image of a person that simply awakes during the nightmare. So I know it sounds like a very difficult and impossible thing to do, but the image that I was having was of a person that simply opens his eyes. Okay, not physical eyes, but like being more aware of what's going on and understanding at some point, maybe not from the first nightmare, but at some point, if he's putting, this setting this goal from the
Hmm.
evening before going to sleep, at some point he will manage to understand that he is in a dream. He's simply in a dream, and if actually he can turn the action in his favor. He can change things. He can even stop it if at some point he's becoming aware. This is what came to me. I was simply seeing some eyes, some a person that first was extremely terrified during the nightmare,
Yeah.
and at some point I saw that a woman that simply she turned her head directly to the aggressor, to
Hmm.
the that monster, and simply looked at him with very bright and open and wide eyes, like, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I don't care. You are not real. You're not in my space anymore. That was what the eyes were expressing. That was, it
So
came.
again, the knowing and the conviction that we
Mhm,
are the power and that we are always in control, either if it's during the day or during the
mhm,
night.
mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Having this
But being sure about it.
awareness,
Yeah.
exactly, having this awareness, and in what, especially during day, of course, will come as a consequence also during night. That one was as a conclusion that I saw those eyes, but talking more like in detail, it comes as a consequence of the behavior that people experience during day, manifest during day in every moment. So it's not only making a goal during night before going to sleep. It's like an attitude that we need to have every moment of our life, that we are the power. And if we are weak, it's because we allow to be weak in some points, just to experiment
Yeah.
also weakness or another feelings, but it's not to be taken over by some other beings. No way. We decide what we want to do in our energetic body place.
So nightmares are, if I can say, normal sometimes, and we cannot avoid nightmares.
Again, when you said now normal, came again with a kind of
Condition.
lightness. No, lightness. Like would be something fun. So for a norm, for a person that let's say more harmonized in balance, um it's kind of, we can I cannot call them nightmares
Yeah.
simply,
Okay.
like let's say like some kind of dreams,
Action
that
dreams.
action dream. Exactly, it's a lot more proper word.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
What about the great dreams that we have? The dreams where we feel so good that we're on a beach, nothing happens, we're just happy.
Mhm.
Can we be interfered in this kind of dreams?
Also, we can be, unfortunately. It's depending if it's coming from us or from outside, or it
True.
can come from a being that wants to show us, I don't know, some nice, apparently nice feelings, emotions, views, landscapes, and then trying to get close to us, in response, you know telling us, like, you see, that was my favor to you, to make you understand this or that. So it's depending. We all the time have to be aware from where it comes something to us, an image, a feeling, to be much in connection with our intuition, with our
Hmm.
fifth sense, let's say, with our inner side. That's the most important inner
Amazing.
part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Claudia, I finished my questions. Do you perceive anything else? Do you want to mention anything else that you didn't have the time to say or
Yes, came to me something very simple, just to add a little to sense, let's say.
yeah.
When I was telling you now about the inner side, came an image of a person who breathes long, not long, but without stops. I mean,
Who
without
breathes?
breathes, yes,
The breath.
breathing,
Okay.
breathing, yes,
Okay.
breath, breathing. Not that shortness of breath. I mean, when he's thinking about, about something, when he's thinking if an action is okay or not, if he's interfered or not. So when a person wants to take a decision or wants to be in connection with his intuition, just to observe his breath. If there is a shortness of breath, if he feels like obstacles in breathing, it might be something there. It's something maybe. So it just to pay attention the way the breathing comes. I was having an image with a air coming through the body from top of the head until down the lungs and the belly. I don't know how to express it better. A very long breath, very relaxed, long, uh, complete,
Mm-hmm.
like implementing air and energy in the whole body, not only in the lungs. I don't
So
know if that makes
breathing
sense.
can control your connection with yourself and
Exactly, and
how you
giving you a
generate.
and giving you a clue of how balanced you are inside,
Okay.
actually. But that not forced breathing, coming by
Conscious
itself,
breathing.
conscious breathing, exactly, and not forced. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now, Claudia, disconnect from everything and everyone and every space, and I will count from 1, 2, 3. And at 3, you will be fully in the present moment, here, where we speak. 1. Once again, cut all ties, disconnect from everything, from everyone, from every space, everywhere, and return fully into your body. Take this time to verify your space. Clean. Your energy is clean. You can feel pure. You can feel refreshed. And your energy rises to its highest frequencies. Raise your frequencies. 2. Your body feels lighter and lighter. And you're feeling stronger and stronger. You can move with ease, with joy. And you are feeling a sensation of good all over your body. And 3, you can open your eyes feeling better and better and happy. So I learned a lot of things in this investigation. I loved it. And to be honest, one of my purposes is to control my dreams because I dream a lot sometimes. And I'm trying to wake up in my dream and to say, no, stop, go away.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I found it just so interesting how you said all those things to just like look at the interference like in the face and stuff like that. Very, very interesting.
It will happen one day. Be sure of
Yes, I have to train, but yes.
that.
I had more questions, but I feel like this is okay. This is a bit over an hour, so I don't want to
Hmm.
charge a lot. This is already protocol number 3, so maybe we'll do a fourth one where I can ask another round of questions. Um,
Endless.
Endless questions about
Yes,
dreams.
yes.
It's fascinating for me,
Yes, it is
dreams.
for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a subject that I could talk about. And
exactly.
I'm a bit sick. I didn't feel good before this investigation. My nose is full, everything is I'm sick, but now I feel great that I learned so much. I hope you
Glad.
liked it too,
Me
Claudia.
too. I like everything that's connecting to humans, no matter what. I love it.
You like everything. Amazing. And I hope you too, people who are listening to us, I hope you liked it. And thank you, Claudia, for doing this with
My
me.
pleasure.
Thank you everyone for listening and for watching us, and we'll see you soon, and we wish you an amazing evening and or day. Bye everyone.
So, goodbye.
Buenos días.
Dzień dobry.
Bienvenidos a este primer vídeo de Disclosure en español y polaco.
Bardzo Was serdecznie witamy na tym nowym wideo, które będzie w języku hiszpańskim i polskim na kanale Disclosures.
Vamos a producir mucho más vídeos en futuro como estos vídeos informativos.
W przyszłości stworzymy dużo więcej takich wideo, które będą Was informowały o różnych rzeczach.
Porque estamos notando que cuanto más se va divulgando este trabajo, estas hipnosis por internet, también cuanto más mala información se está difundiendo.
A to dlatego, że zauważyliśmy, że im więcej wstawiamy sesji z naszymi hipnozami, tym więcej jakby informacji sprzecznych zaczyna się rozprzestrzeniać.
Y entonces hoy vamos a hablar de las sesiones investigativas.
Więc dzisiaj będziemy mówić o sesjach badawczych.
Porque estoy viendo que hay personas que a lo mejor se dedican a una sesión con una persona, se van a algún lugar, preguntan algo y lo poco de información que pueden extraer de una sesión se lo creen como si fuera oro, completamente puro oro.
Bo zauważyłem, że są takie sesje i takie osoby, które robią jedną sesję z jedną osobą na dany temat i kiedy wychodzi tam jakaś informacja, to jest ona odbierana jakby to było rzeczywiście coś niesamowicie wiarygodnego, jakby to było czyste złoto.
Yo os digo que la sesión así dicha investigativa no existe.
Ja chciałbym Wam powiedzieć, że sesja badawcza tak naprawdę nie istnieje.
Entonces podríais como preguntar, entonces cuando haces una sesión a un cliente y preguntas cosas, ¿por qué preguntas?
Więc mógłbyś mi zadać pytanie, więc skoro robisz jakąś sesję z jakąś osobą i zadajesz jej pytania, to właściwie po co je w ogóle zadajesz?
Sí, sabemos que la información en hipnosis está muy, pero de verdad muy contaminada.
My bardzo dobrze wiemy, że informacja, która wychodzi podczas hipnozy jest niezwykle, ale to niezwykle zanieczyszczona.
Y esta información, así como sale de la hipnosis, no podemos tomarla como conocimiento, como investigación.
Więc takiej informacji, która wychodzi podczas sesji hipnozy, nie bierzemy nigdy jako takiej informacji, która jest rzeczywiście bardzo prawdziwa, zgodna z prawdą i oczywista.
En el caso de sesiones a clientes, la información que sacamos nos sirve por otro objetivo. El objetivo es llegar a la causa de su problema y trabajar.
Te informacje, które uzyskujemy podczas sesji dla klientów, służą nam zupełnie do czegoś innego. Celem jest to, żeby znaleźć przyczynę i pracować nad nią.
Pero ¿qué significa que la información está contaminada? ¿Cuánto está contaminada y por qué?
Ale co to właściwie oznacza informacja zanieczyszczona? Kiedy jest zanieczyszczona i dlaczego jest zanieczyszczona?
Hay que saber que cuando nosotros pedimos una información y nos llega a través de una persona en hipnosis, esta información sale de una fuente, para así decirlo, y atraviesa muchas dimensiones, muchas densidades.
Kiedy prosimy o jakąś informację podczas sesji, to ta informacja, powiedzmy to w ten sposób, pochodzi z jakiegoś źródła, ale w międzyczasie przechodzi przez wiele gęstości i wiele wymiarów.
Y también pasa por conciencias, por inteligencias. Esa información viene atrapada en el éter por varios seres.
Ale ta informacja przechodzi też przez wiele umysłów, wiele świadomości, istnieje w eterze i może być przechwycona również przez wiele bytów.
Estos seres, estas inteligencias, pueden voluntariamente o involuntariamente distorsionarla.
I te byty, te istoty lub świadomości mogą ją zniekształcić świadomie lub nieświadomie.
Y además, la persona que está en hipnosis tiene sus creencias, su mentalidad, sus perspectivas, sus opiniones. Mm, Esta estructura mental contamina también esta información.
A co więcej, osoba, która jest w stanie hipnozy, ma swoje własne przekonania, swoje własne wartości i wierzenia, swoją własną mentalność i przez tą właśnie strukturę całą mentalną również może dojść do jeszcze kolejnego zanieczyszczenia.
Y además, si nosotros queremos investigar, por ejemplo, una persona o un ser que no tiene ninguna conexión con el ambiente hipnótico donde estamos trabajando, esta persona puede no autorizar la salida de informaciones de sí mismo.
A co więcej, jeśli połączymy się z jakąś istotą, która absolutnie nie należy do tego środowiska hipnotycznego, w którym pracujemy, taka istota może nie zgodzić się na przekazanie informacji.
Si hay interacción, si hay interferencias entre un ser y otro, es posible que circule información por las conexiones, por los pactos.
Jeśli jest jakaś interferencja między dwoma istotami, to wtedy dzięki tym paktom, albo przez te pakty, przez to połączenie, które istnieje, rzeczywiście wychodzą informacje.
Pero si en aquella sesión en concreto ese ser o esa persona se va a cuestionar y no hay ninguna conexión, es muy improbable que llegue una información autorizada.
Ale jeśli zdarzy się tak, że łączymy się z istotą, która nie ma z tym nic wspólnego, to jest bardzo mało prawdopodobne, że dostaniemy jakąś informację.
Entonces, imaginemos que queremos investigar sobre un personaje famoso de la historia.
No, na przykład wyobraźmy sobie, że chcielibyśmy otrzymać informację o jakiejś osobie niezwykle znanej, historycznej.
Si no tenemos de alguna manera alguna conexión con los elementos del ambiente hipnótico y esta persona, aunque no esté conectada, no autoriza esta información, pues no llega.
Więc jeśli wyobrazimy sobie, że ta osoba nie jest w żaden sposób połączona z tym środowiskiem hipnotycznym, w którym pracujemy, może się tak zdarzyć, że absolutnie nie zezwoli na żadne przekazywanie informacji na swój temat.
Y cuando pasa esto, hay siempre o casi siempre alguna entidad que se aprovecha de la situación.
I kiedy to się dzieje, zazwyczaj pojawia się jakiś byt, który wykorzystuje tę sytuację.
Se puede presentar con la supuesta identidad de la persona o del ser que estamos buscando, o puede de todas formas modificar o inventar una información por su cuenta, por su personal ventaja.
Może zrobić dwie rzeczy. Albo przyjąć, zidentyfikować się z osobą, o której chcemy zrobić tę sesję, przyjąć jej tożsamość, albo zmienić informacje, które chcielibyśmy otrzymać, tak aby to działało na jej korzyść.
Nosotros en sesión a clientes podemos trabajar porque el cliente nos autoriza a trabajar en él en su sesión.
Podczas sesji dla klientów możemy pracować nad takimi informacjami, bo otrzymujemy zgodę na informacje właśnie dzięki temu klientowi.
Y podemos trabajar con sus seres queridos, por ejemplo, o con los seres que interfieren con ella, propio porque hay estas conexiones.
I możemy pracować na przykład z istotami, które kocha ta dana osoba, lub z bytami, które w nią ingerują, właśnie przez to połączenie, które tam istnieje.
Entonces, hay una gran diferencia entre la sesión a un cliente para solucionar sus problemas y hacer sesiones para investigar.
Dlatego istnieje taka duża różnica między sesjami, które robimy dla klientów, aby rozwiązać ich problemy, i między sesjami takimi poszukiwawczymi, badawczymi.
Por eso digo que no existe una sesión investigativa.
I dlatego właśnie Wam mówię, że nie istnieje coś takiego jak sesja badawcza.
Lo que existe es un protocolo de sesiones de investigación.
To, co istnieje, to pewien protokół sesji badawczych.
Hay que seguir un protocolo y hay que seguir ejecutar una serie de sesiones y con personas diferentes.
Więc trzeba zawsze śledzić ten sam protokół, a jednocześnie wykonać wiele sesji z różnymi osobami.
El protocolo tiene que ser único, unívoco, porque hay que preguntar en un tema las mismas preguntas para ir en la misma dirección.
Ten protokół powinien być zawsze taki sam, ponieważ należy zadawać takie same pytania, tak aby iść zawsze w tym samym kierunku.
Cuanto más está restringido ese espacio de investigación, cuanto más podemos tener más probabilidad de tener buena información.
Im bardziej zawężamy obszar naszych poszukiwań, tym bardziej prawdopodobne będzie, że otrzymamy dobre informacje.
Sí, podemos también aumentar ese espacio, pero tenemos que aumentar proporcionalmente el número de sesiones por hacer.
Możemy oczywiście rozszerzyć ten obszar, ale wtedy będziemy zmuszeni również rozszerzyć ilość tych sesji.
Luego, cuando tenemos una grande serie de sesiones, pero estamos hablando de centenas o hasta de millares de sesiones,
I wtedy mówimy o olbrzymiej liczbie sesji, od setki po tysiące.
tenemos que recoger toda aquella información que es común a todas o a casi todas estas sesiones hechas.
I wtedy musimy pozbierać te informacje, które są wspólne dla wszystkich bądź prawie wszystkich tych sesji.
Esta información común vais a ver que es un porcentaje muy pequeño con respecto a la totalidad de la información.
I zobaczycie, że ta informacja wspólna będzie naprawdę niewielkim odsetkiem tych informacji, które się tam pojawią.
Son pepitas de oro.
To są takie malutkie ziarenka.
Es como si nosotros vamos a un río, vamos a coger este filtro, vamos a coger muchísima arena para recoger solo muy pocas pepitillas de oro.
I można to przyrównać do poszukiwania złota, kiedy filtruje się dno rzeki, zbiera się mnóstwo piasku, a na koniec pojawiają się maleńkie ziarenka złota.
Esa sí que es información de oro.
I to jest właśnie ta informacja złota.
Si hoy podemos decir que hay seres que interfieren bastante con el ser humano y que tienen formas de animales reptiles o de animales a forma de insectos, etc., es porque todo esto sale desde que se empezaron las sesiones de hipnosis y hay muchísimas, millares y millares con esta información común.
I jeśli dzisiaj możemy powiedzieć, że są ingerencje, które przybierają formy albo reptilii, albo jakichś insektów, to dlatego, że takie informacje wychodzą od początku naszych sesji hipnotycznych i są wspólne i jest ich tysiące.
Pero si yo digo que en la ciudad de Nueva York, en el 1452, exacto en aquel punto, había una casa que vivía un viejo que se llamaba Tom, pues solo en aquella sesión ha salido, y cuanto más contaminada puede ser, no lo va a saber nadie.
Ale jeśli chciałabym powiedzieć, przekazać taką informację, że w Nowym Jorku w 1452 roku stał taki a taki dom, w którym mieszkał taki a taki starszy pan o imieniu Tom, to nie mam pojęcia, jak bardzo zanieczyszczona będzie ta informacja.
Así entonces se hace investigación. Es un trabajo muy largo, muy duro, y tiene que ser hecho con un protocolo riguroso i severo.
A więc właśnie w taki sposób należy robić sesje badawcze. Jest to proces bardzo długi, ciężki i który wymaga bardzo restrykcyjnego protokołu.
Entonces, por esto que nosotros ya vamos a empezar a hacer ciclos de investigación.
I właśnie dlatego zaczniemy teraz robić takie cykle badawcze.
La estructura del team, que cada vez va creciendo siempre más, y el número de clientes que cada día contactan con nosotros, nos permiten organizar estos ciclos de investigación.
I ponieważ struktura naszego zespołu cały czas się powiększa, a także liczba klientów, którzy kontaktują się z nami każdego dnia, te czynniki pozwalają nam na to, żebyśmy zrobili taki cykl badawczy.
Creo que ya he dicho todo, o casi todo. Cualquier pregunta podéis escribirla en los comentarios del vídeo o donde sea publicado el vídeo.
Myślę, że powiedziałem wszystko, bądź prawie wszystko, a jeśli macie jakieś pytania, to proszę zadajcie je pod tym wideo.
Gracias por vuestra atención
Dziękujemy za Waszą uwagę.
y gracias a ti, Milena.
Gracias a ti, Kalo. Dziękujemy.
Chao.
Ciao.